Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening. This is the 7th video of this Java series. In this video, I'll show you how to use a switch statement. A switch statement is much like an if statement, but it makes things a bit simpler. Say you needed to have a check to check a number, and you needed to run it against multiple things. Let's say you needed to check if it was a 1, or you needed to check if it was a 2, else if num equals 2, and you'd have a whole bunch of if statements. Well, you can also streamline this by just using a switch statement. So we'll do a switch num, open curly brackets and closing curly brackets, and that is the beginning of a switch statement. Okay, now inside you do a case 1, a colon, and then whatever you want to do for that case. So we'll say system.out.println, and we'll just do a simple 1. Okay, and then immediately after you've done what you needed to do, you just type break. Okay, and that will break you out of the switch statement. So let's go ahead and make a couple of these cases. Oh. Okay, so let's just do a 2, a 3, and a 4. Okay, and we'll type out 2, 3, and a 4. Okay, and then you also have at the very bottom you would type in default. And at the bottom you put in whatever code you needed for the default case, which is basically like your catch-all or the else clause. So if none of the other ones will trigger, then this one will trigger. Print line, and we'll just say completed. Okay, so let's change our variable to 1. Oh, we need to add one more thing down here at the bottom, another break. After each case, you need to make sure that you have a break. Okay, and we have our, make sure we have our curly brackets all lined up. Okay, so we'll run this. Oh, and I forgot the T there. There we go. Run it again. And we get the 1. Because we changed num to 1, it's going to go through and test it just like an if statement. Case 1, it's going to compare this number to this number, and it will trigger if this is correct or if this case matches. And then you can do this with multiple cases. Say you don't want to do 1, 2, 3, and 4, you can change it to 8 or 9 or whatever. It will trigger. It doesn't all have to be in order. It could be mismatched. It can be whatever cases that you want. So instead of writing a whole bunch of if clauses and if else and a huge tree, you'd only have one switch statement, and it will basically do the same exact thing as a whole bunch of if statements. Okay, and it makes things a lot more simpler and a lot more prettier when you're looking at it, and you can understand things a little bit more. Alright, well, thank you for watching. Feel free to leave any comments or questions below, and I'll see you in the next video.